Hi guys, we are here with JannLee versus mastertan for the 1-0 Crazy House World Championship. It will be 30 games again. And probably JannLee is setting up his own stream. You can watch that as well, of course. And well, they've played a lot of games, as you can see. And about 2/3 of the games went to JannLee and 1/3 to mastertan. So if we are following that, you could predict maybe that JannLee will win 1911, 2010, something like that. But as with most of these matches, it will probably be about the form of the day, and I already saw mastertan playing some Crazy House earlier, so he probably is warmed up. Didn't see JannLee play, so maybe he will be a little bit slow there at the start. And mastertan as well won a very nice match. His first one against Little Plotkin, I believe, with 20 against 10, so showed some good form in his first match. So it will be exciting to see who takes this one. I guess JannLee is the slight favorite, but mastertan on a good day can be really dangerous. Okay, and there we go. E4, E5. And just standard stuff so far. And mastertan going for the early queen sack. Sorry about this pop-up. Why won't it go away? Alright. Okay. An early queen sack by mastertan, and JannLee using the queen back on the board. Maybe he's thinking about a knight on g6 in the future. He has something else in mind. He wants to sack the queen here and move in on this square. Now the rook is defending the square for now, but JannLee already attacking the rook, and this knight is doing a nice job guarding back at home. Okay, so now the rook is off the board, and probably we will see JannLee taking this one. Knight takes e5, very nice move. Because now he's threatening rook at g7, knight f7, as well as pawn at g7. So desperation here by mastertan, but there was nothing because this knight was also guarding at the back there. So this one will go to JannLee. Probably will see a resign. Okay, he tries one more move. Rook at d8. Or rook at g8 was actually mate in one. JannLee sees it now. Okay. First blood to JannLee. Alright, e takes d5. And he's taking on c6. And JannLee not taking this one, because then maybe a knight will come to g5 in the future. mastertan playing very aggressive. Maybe we'll see queen h5 next. Probably now he'll just take the bishop. Bishop at e8, yes, there we go, because now rook at e8 is a major threat. And it's still a threat now. Queen at f8 was made for sure, because then he could take on g7 next, and JannLee had no rook to block the threat of takes g7. And now he misses mate. That's tough. That was an easy mate in 2 for mastertan. Queen at f8 instead of rook at f8. Okay, we'll probably see a lot of this e4, e5 stuff. They are both very experienced with it. Going for the same queen sack, and bishop at f4 seems to be the line there. JannLee only using 6 seconds to get at the 14th move here, so he's probably playing still from memory. Now I had the first thing there, forking these knights. And mastertan not defending but trying to counterattack. Opening the dark squares, maybe a pawn at g3. Raising kings. Welcome. And this is actually a bit dangerous, because now he can take here and maybe knight at g4. Okay, he decides to take the rook, because then the king is probably in more danger. And he also has the option at pawn at e3, bishop at g5, and then he can at least take this one if he needs to. Okay, but he probably has spotted a better sequence. How to proceed here? Maybe knight at g3 and take this one with check. Don't think the king can run to d2. Now we probably will see knight e3 next. Take this one with check, probably. Now it wasn't check, so there is probably a sequence here that leads to mate for JannLee. Yeah, queen at h5, removing the defender, and now he can get in on this squares. Yeah, mate. Okay. mastertan needed too much time on the clock there to find the mate. I thought he had a nice attack going, but rook at h1 probably not the most precise. Okay, deviating with knight at e7 instead of f6. Knight to e7, I mean. And tan going right at the dark squares now. That's a nasty fork. JannLee decides to part with the rook, but now he has to deal with knight takes f7, knight h6. So this knight can be taken as well. Could also wait with that, of course, by taking this one. Now knight takes f7 is very strong, yes. Rook at f8 is a mate threat. And there might be some knight at g3 stuff. Alright, we'll see if this is defendable. King h2. Take the rook, and I guess pawn at g3 is dangerous. I think he has to take and move up the board maybe. But it's very tough, because rook at g4 is coming as well. Okay, but 6 seconds left. King to here leads to mate, so he has to take or move king h4. And now JannLee has 2 rooks, so he probably will find mate. Yeah, there we go. Very quick one. Okay, 4-0 so far, but that's not because JannLee is just crushing mastertan. Mastertan missed a few chances there to strike back. I think in what was it? The second game, yeah, he missed a mate, as well as in the third game he had nice attacking chances. So it's far from over. Okay, deviating here. In the last game we saw knight h6, pawn at g5. So a slight change in move order there. Welcome, okay. Now knight at f2 may come. First knight g4 and then knight at f2 is also a possibility, because you want to go rook at h1 afterwards. That's the idea. Okay, JannLee saying if knight at f2 I'll take, and I'll just take the bishop. And how do you mate me there? And 10 probably will go pawn g3 and bishop takes. Okay. Now I think you have to block like this, creating this square for the king. But maybe then there was rook at h3. But the king seems to be able to run like that. Okay, rook at g8 is a mate threat, so mastertan has to find something against that. Moving the king up, probably he'll take with the knight, and we'll see a checkmate maybe. He lacks a knight, so mastertan should be able to win this if he is quick enough. He finds the checks. JannLee with the mate there, clutch moment. 0.4 left, pre-moving the mate. That was in the position if he had a knight at his disposal. So 5-0, JannLee running away with it. mastertan not cashing in on his early chances. And JannLee with 2 checkmates below 5 seconds now already. And that's of course losing isn't nice, but when you're that close to a win, it's psychologically also hard to deal with. So let's see if mastertan can bounce back from those early losses. Okay, JannLee putting up a nice defense now, it seems. No early pressure on g7 or sacks by mastertan allowed, and now g3 is very weak. I think he can take like this and then like this and put a pawn here. That's an idea that's in the position. Or just take this one twice and open up stuff. He's going to improve the position of his queen. That's also a good idea, I think. Alright, but mastertan trying to defend this square. I don't like this decision. Probably now this and take here. Because now the number of attacking pieces by JannLee is still the same. Okay, but mastertan finding some sort of way out. He had some mate threat with rook at g8 and knight f7, with the knight being here. But JannLee comfortably put the bishop on g6 and kept attacking there. Okay, e4, e5 again. JannLee switching it up with knight g5. Don't know why he chooses to do that, but he was doing fine in the previous lines, but probably feels like switching it up to keep mastertan under pressure here. Queen a4, don't know if I like that. that move. It leaves it gives mastertan the initiative. Knight at c2, yes. Pawn at g2, so no king f1 is possible. That's a nice in-between move. But now he has to watch out for takes and bishop b5. Yeah, that was possible, I think. Maybe that was missed. But maybe there was also some attack on the king side then, I don't know for sure. But it's probably a good observation, Pedro. Okay, JannLee. 7-0 up. That's tough for mastertan. Hope to see him get on the board soon. Okay, this g5 move I saw JannLee played as well against Opperwezen. And it's looking very counterintuitive, but if it works, then black is doing quite alright. So probably there is some sequence to deny that move, because it hasn't been seen much before. But you have to, in this e4 e5 structures, you have, if you want to win by force, you have to know a lot of stuff. Okay, if king h1, knight at g3 wins the queen, so therefore he has to go to h2, but then knight at f3 comes in. And now another knight would mate here, but this one is safe for now. Knight f5, putting up, trying to put up a defense. Yeah, maybe. It seems like this one should go to 10. This will be up next. Queen at h7 is mate now. Take the bishop, and mate is unavoidable. Alright, mastertan on the board, finally. 7-1. Let's see if we can get a streak going. JannLee going for knight g5 again. And last game he went for c3, but then maybe bishop g4 is indeed strong. We're not seeing the same line, so can't check if he missed bishop at a4 in the earlier game. Okay, 10 going at the king side. Now these two pawns are attacked. He's sacrificing to open up the scope of this bishop, and it's nice because if you block, then this knight is en prise. Now maybe he can even sacrifice the queen. Okay, he goes for taking the rook and blocking the knight. And mastertan is in his element here, attacking and I didn't notice the mates there in the end. Probably could be that JannLee missed the mate. Okay, he has to block with the piece. That's not ideal. Now he can take this bishop for free. Ah, he has mate. Nice find. Knight at f2, luring away the defender at g4, and then the queens work nicely together. Okay, so mastertan 2 in a row now. Still playing, both playing e4, e5. JannLee switching it up now. Now g5, just I guess you could call this the main line these days. Bishop h4, h6. Ah, he had his knight on e2, I guess. Okay, yeah. Well, it was like the threat I discussed earlier. Okay, JannLee has done a nice job here to defend the dark squares, and he's fine on the light squares. And now he's trying to take over the attack with an attack on g2. Rook takes g2 should win. Because rook takes g1 is made in a few moves. Yeah, there we go. And if you blocked on the g file, there would have been the same move probably. With some pawn g2 and rook at h1. Okay. This line we also have had a few times. Bishop takes f7 has been the main choice by JannLee here. And pawn at g6, knight h6. Has been seen in previous games by mastertan. Pawn g5 again. Okay. Bishop takes h2. Seems to me that worked out well the previous time he went for this. He just had too little time to calculate. So pawn to e3 was fine, I think. But now he's opting to play something else. Knight at e4. And the good thing about this knight is that it's blocking the retreat to c1 as well as to f2. Putting this bishop in with check, so it's also defending these two squares, and then continues with the knight. Maybe take this bishop. I don't think he has enough here. Maybe c6, b5 is possible. Because you don't want to allow the rooks to get into the game, so he has to move back then. Okay, that's nice, taking the bishop with check. But now we'll see him run. Taking another pawn. Maybe before rook b8, but then he lacked a pawn, I think, to mate on b4. So well defended there by JannLee. Okay, knight d5. This is again this main line we saw. And knight at d5, knight at h7. And now mastertan has to look out for this same ID, or rook g6, I believe it was last game. Okay, no pawn in hand now for pawn at h3. That's of course what he would like to play. And if rook c8, just knight d5 back, I guess. And JannLee having a long think here. Decided to play rook c8 in the end. And now is trying to arrest this queen. I don't think you should take, because this bishop is a nice defender of f2 as well. And now JannLee has still no pieces in hand, and he has to find a good move without dropping a piece, and that's sometimes harder than just dropping pieces. Bishop takes, probably safe. Okay, now he can get in on g2. I don't like this move. Okay, but he seems to be safe. But not ideal position here. That's good, attacking the queen. JannLee low on time. That's a nice move, pawn d7 in time trouble. You were expecting the pre-move there. Move faster. Rook takes g3 was probably mate. But JannLee was of course pre-moving there. And this time mastertan takes it in time trouble. That's good for him. His flag skills are still good. And 9-3, that's nice for the match that mastertan is taking 3 out of the last 5 there. And just a reminder, it's a match of 30 games. Okay, slightly different variation now, with this pawn on e7 being annoying. Queening there. But mastertan probably wants to go something like this. And use the g file. Or maybe put a knight on h3. Oh, sorry about that. First he is trying to get another rook so that knight at h3 will come with more devastating effect. Don't know if I like pawn at f2. Probably would have played king h8 earlier on. Because now he has all his pieces are on the board. He only has 2 bishops in hand. And it will be harder to create threats against the enemy king. And JannLee taking over now. Knight g7. Probably was his plan, but he missed this move probably. And now Tan has to calculate if this is mate. And I think he needs another pawn. Correctly assessing that, and I think queen at g1 is mate now. Because the rook file is also open. Don't know why he didn't play it. There was just a repeat then. And now he has possibility of losing on time. It's going fast. And he got it. Well pre-moved there by mastertan. Yeah, I thought he missed the pawn as well, but taking the pawn on e6, then he got his pawn for mate, because he could have removed the 2 rooks off the back rank there, and then he no longer needed the pawn for f2, but the bishop was fine as well. But could have been wrong there. But in the end, Tan got it anyway. Okay, this idea again. Rook g6, queen g8 probably. Okay, now differentiating with knight e7. Inviting a sacrifice by mastertan. Getting at this defender. That's well spotted that the queen in the previous games was on g8 defending f7. Maybe you should have gone pawn at g5 there. And then take with the knight. Instead of bishop g3. Okay, he also finds a way now. Queen is hanging. I think he should have taken the queen first. Because there was a clear mating pattern afterwards, so he had to deal with that first. And now he's just losing material. A lot more than necessary, I think. And I feel like JannLee has enough defensive resources now. He even has a mating idea. Knight takes here, knight at f2, knight g4. And knight being here, then he can take that. Knight g4 is pinned. That's a miss by me. And maybe also a miss by JannLee. Okay, master 10, too slow on the clock. Yeah, it's pinned, yeah. But JannLee winning this game anyway. There was just too little time. Okay, master 10 still feeling comfortable playing e4, e5. Don't know if we saw him play anything else this match. Okay, previous game we saw knight takes g7, pawn d7. And I don't think JannLee has reasons to change that. I like rook g8. But just as I said before, I don't like the... I do like the sack here and then pawn at e3 and then just move away. Okay, that's a change by JannLee. And I think a good one. If this works, and if it doesn't work, it's of course not a good one, but okay, knight at h5, cutting back the escape here. Bishop takes, I guess. Knight at f4 being a huge threat. Bishop at g5 covers that nicely. He can probably still do it, and then the rook opens up g4, so then pawn at h3 is nice. JannLee finding a way to defend. But Tan is planning to run. Okay, JannLee defended, but it cost him too much time. Yeah, the queen sack was too much. Queen at h4 probably was not the best decision there. It seemed nice luring out the queen there, but putting out the queen and then sacrificing it, but it probably was too much for the position. Yeah, too much e4, e5. And I can't remember if they played anything else than e4, e5. We have seen some deviations in, but okay. Going for knight takes g5. JannLee comfortably with taking the queen there. And Fence trying to take over the attack here. Knight at e2 surely is winning. Takes g3, queen at g1, and knight at f2 was made in the end. Because the h file was, or the h pawn was pinned by the queen on the h file. Okay, halfway through, 11 versus 5. JannLee comfortably leading this match. And I think if they keep playing e4, e5, then JannLee will go on to get 20 points or more. So even though mastertan is taking some games, it might be good for him to switch it up into maybe some e4, e5 structures with an early d4 if he's white. Okay, now he's taking this one if he sees d3. I think d3 was very strong there. It still is. Because there is no pawn to block on d4, so he has to block with the knight, or yeah, he finds it. And that's a bit of an awkward blocker. He needs another pawn though. Can also maybe take this one. Yeah, he's found a way to force some good trade. He can just take this one and win the queen. Now knight here, maybe. Surely that should have worked. Okay, but he's safe now as well. It seems he only needs to manage his time. Okay, JannLee found a sequence to get in. Okay, the checks for mastertan start now. Queen f7 in between. That's a very nice pre-move. Well done by JannLee there. This is interesting though. Apart from the game against Opper yesterday, or a few days ago. Yesterday, I think, yeah. I have not seen this before. So that will probably be something for the theoreticians to find out what that is. Pedro is suggesting to take with the bishop and then pawn e7, and then you can go knight f6. That seems like something. Seems possible. Maybe there's bishop takes f3 in between. There. I don't know. If that's good, just thought of it. Maybe Jan will take this. Alright, Mixu suggested knight takes g5. And for those who don't know it, he is the finisher on Lee chess. And he knows his stuff, so let's believe him that knight takes g5 is good there. JannLee sacking the queen and the knight to get in. But there is their mate here. Yeah, there was pawn at f2. He finds it anyway. Pawn at f2 was just mate. Okay. Doesn't matter if you find the mate 2 moves later. But very nice queen sacrifice, knight at g3 there, queen at h2. Probably was forced. Okay. 10 switching it up here, going with knight at h5. What's that about? Maybe he wants to go on g3. He was also defending queen takes f6 with a white knight on h5, blocking the retreat. So JannLee renewing the threat of taking here as well as taking here. Yeah, knight at h5, king here, knight at g4, also fine. Maybe even better, because then knight takes h6, like in the game. Okay, thank you for sharing. Okay, it's always nice to learn some new opening. Okay, JannLee convincingly finishing off there. 14 against 5. Last 4 games went to JannLee. And again, mastertan just going for the same stuff. And I guess as white he got a nice position. Not going for any knight takes g5. And he's thinking for 20 seconds. He's 20 seconds down. That's if not an immediate advantage is coming from that, that's too much, I think. But alright, queen f6 is nice because trade is impossible. King g7, knight h5. Queen at g7 is made with g4 and queen takes h6. Okay, so JannLee is trying to defend. Yeah, it's risky, but well, say JannLee takes, or mastertan just shows excellent preparation there and takes one game, well then Jan can decide to switch it up. But if it's a bit shaky and JannLee not convinced that mastertan knows exactly what he's doing, then it's fine. And yeah, now it's not a secret anymore, that's true. Yeah, exactly. That's a good match strategy. And it's working. Convincingly. Alright, taking a pawn to put on g5. Put pressure on the dark squares. Knight f5, moving on g7 maybe. And if takes, then these two pawns are a nice block. Maybe bishop at d5 for white next. It's an idea. And then g6 will be weak. But first he has to defend a bit. Mastertan trying to get in on g3, and now has to see if pawn at g3 is strong enough. Okay, Jan escaping to c1. Mastertan getting the bishop he needs to put on e3. Guess you can take now and put it back here. And there was the possibility of a draw there, maybe with bishop at g5, but JannLee deciding that it's time to flag. Pawn d2 probably before, luring away the queen, and rook at c1 seemed the way to go. But yeah, bishop at a6. That's a nice way to lure the queen out there. But I think pawn d2 was strong there for mastertan. But about 5 seconds hard to find, of course. And the easy thing for us watching is just saying that move, and you don't have to prove it's good. Okay, what's happening here? Probably knight e2 was a threat. He has to still watch out for that. Okay, now he's trying to get in on the light squares. Pawn d6 and then take on g6 is the obvious plan. Okay, repeat, knight at f7 maybe. Okay, he goes for a knight on h5 and then puts the rook on f7. Okay, this is nice, trying to lure away this defender from the f7 square. And yeah, queen at g4 is good because knight at h4 is maybe possible. And tan is attacking strong here. Pawn at g6, that's good. Taking another pawn. And surely there's mate here, pawn at h7, g7. Okay, you can also take the rook, I guess. And then take this defender and then rook at g8. Okay, 16-6, 8 more to go. And it's looking like a very strong victory for JannLee. Let's see if mastertan can bounce back in the final portion. Probably knight at e7 is very good here. Can't take the rook because it's pinned. Take with the rook and hope you have checkmate. Probably start with pawn at e3. Okay, he's going for safety. Don't know if I like that decision. I guess pawn at e3 was made in a couple of moves. And of course he's safe now. That's nice, but I think it's when you saw the last games, mastertan just needs to try to go all in the attack, because he seems to be losing a lot of the close positions when they come down to under 10 seconds. And still in this game he's doing very well. But well, Jan now getting some pieces back. All the pieces are on the board for master 10, so no real attacking opportunities. And Jan is fighting back, knight e4, nice defensive move as well as attacking. And now he's getting in on h7. Take, rook at g8 maybe, fortifying first. Rook at g8, pawn at h7, rook at g8 again. Yeah, I don't like the decision there, rook at f8. Maybe it's a good move, maybe it's even the best one, but I think there was mate there, and I think he had to go for it. Because this is not the way, this is not working for him this match, trying to grind out those positions. JannLee is just showing too much form there. Maybe knight takes g5 or knight takes e5 was an idea as well. This is also nice, weakening the light squares. I would have liked knight at g6 there maybe. But okay, knight takes e5 seems to be working out nicely as well. Pawn at e3 was made in 19, yeah. Let's just say I foresaw all those forcing moves. Okay, taking e4, taking f4. But rook at g7, knight at f5. Okay, that's a good find by 10. Good attack this game. Okay, JannLee now switching it up with an early d4. And with this knight f5 maneuver. And personally I find this tough to play against. That's probably also because I'm a bit too lazy to prepare for any openings. And I just try to learn by trial and error. Takes d5, yeah, okay, he takes with the queen. Now takes c3 and tries to get in on e2, but of course JannLee can also try to block it like he does here, just leaving this bishop b for a move. But 10 is playing this very actively. Just defend g7 or just leave it b. If king h1, knight at g3 probably. Okay, this is a mate threat you should miss. Pawn at g4, if takes, then g2 opens up. That's a nice sequence, forcing the trades of queens there. And now pawn g3, okay, or pawn at g3. And if king here, bishop at g3. JannLee defending tenaciously though. King d3, bishop at c4 is mate. But now bishop takes f3. Okay, it's not mate, I guess. So JannLee taking over. Probably a mate miss there by 4-10. And JannLee too quick with the checks there. But this is, well, the previous game was like what I meant before, that master 10 should attack and try to win there. He's just getting outplayed this match. So try to be aggressive, I think is the better was the better strategy, which shows the last 2 wins and also previous game where he probably missed the mating sequence. Thanks for following FSIM, or FSIM I should say. Okay, the threat is now to take here on e4 and try to get some attack here. Going rook g8 so that he can go discover check. And this whole, although the knight is covering, it needs to be closed. Okay, pawn g2. JannLee seems to be very safe here. But then again, mastertan is also fine as well. He only has to watch out for pawn here and attack on g2. Just keep this knight here. It's doing a very good job. And now that JannLee has used his queen on g7, there is no attacking potential, I think, for black. I don't like rook at h3. It just gave too much free moves to JannLee with check here. Yeah, and he wins on the clock. Okay, 19 against 7. 4 more games to go. And the biggest margin we have seen this this championship, this candidates phase is 20 versus 10. And probably we'll see JannLee setting a new record. Yeah, and this is exemplary for the match. I think that this line again, and mastertan is taking a lot of time, but maybe knight takes d5 is the correct move. Bishop at f6 maybe. Threatening knight f5, and then this is threatened as well as queen at h8. So I guess knight f5 now. You have to block on g7. Yeah, I missed the pre-move, I guess. Yeah. Okay, but still JannLee in a commanding position here. Queen takes f5, queen at f6. And then mate on g8, but now mate on d7 as well. Okay, let's see. King h8, okay. And let's see if he goes knight e7 now again. I think it didn't work out for him. So, okay, he goes rook c8. That's a bit of a prophylactic move to cover c7. Because last time he went queen g8 and tan took on c7. Trying to make him take on f2 so that he can take this bishop. Maybe even take with the queen, yes. Removing this bishop from g4 and getting the check, and now rook at f7 is probably mate. If up, then pawn here and bishop here was mate, and now you can win the queen with check. Okay, not a mate yet, but that's still a very good attack. If takes with the queen, knight at f6. JannLee very low on time now though. Queen takes c8, yes. That should be game. Knight here is mate. Okay. mastertan takes another game from JannLee. 2 more to go. Okay, going for bishop at f6 instead of bishop here. Slightly more passive position, but also defending g7. And he was in a lot of trouble with this knight takes g7 moves before. Okay, going for knight e6. Maybe he wants to go knight g5 and then try to attack these 2 pawns. And if bishop takes, he probably wants to go like this. I think you can trade and repeat. Or even go knight f4, okay. But maybe now there is some bishop takes f7. He was probably thinking about the queen sack, but should not work, or not believing it worked. Okay, he wants to lure the queen out so he can take this with check. But JannLee denying that by going king h1 and mastertan removing the threat of e6, but now there was this queen sack, and if you take then you lose. If you don't take, you lose as well. This is mate. Mate coming, knight here and rook there. Okay, he finds another sequence. Rook at c8. Okay, 21 points for JannLee. Very strong. Okay, going for bishop g3 now, and that's kind of okay. Was pointing out and the winning sequence there with knight takes g5 probably should be winning for white, but this bishop g3 is kind of accepting. To me, it's saying that g5 is working for black. All right, you play g5. I'll just move back. And of course, it's not easy for black, but he's feeling comfortable here, I think. Knight at e2 takes g3, and knight at g4. Okay, inviting a queen sack against JannLee. He will surely take it. Queen g4, threat here, threat to take here. Yeah, that's a nice comment. Okay, and that's exactly why it wasn't a good strategy, or why it proven to be a good strategy by JannLee. Because now only in the last game, mastertan is finding the correct, or almost finding the correct answer. Queen takes g3 maybe. Don't know for sure, but seemed like a nice option there. To end with the queen sack, but now he's winning as well. On time as well as on the position. Knight f2. Okay. JannLee taking it 22 to 8 games. Very strong play by Jan. And well, this match is a very nice match in general, but also if you are an e4, e5 player, you probably will take away some useful lessons from this if you look back at the games at a bit slower pace. And just in the beginning, we saw JannLee taking a 5 or 6, 7-0, maybe even 7-0 run, and that was just proving to be too much for mastertan. Mastertan missing a few chances in the early games there, and starting 7-0 down, that's just very tough. And he bounced back nicely with and just before here he bounced back nicely with a couple of wins in a row, but then JannLee took over again with this 6-game streak, consolidating the match, and therefore and in the end won again 5 games of the last 6. So very nice play by JannLee. Thank you for sharing the link of the standings. Let me open it as well. Alright, as you can see, it will be updated very shortly, I believe, but JannLee will this will be 22 against 8. So JannLee will have an average of 19 points for the first 2 matches. That's a very high average. Upper Wazen very strong so far, almost tying against JannLee and winning against Plotkin and Chicken. Well, Chicken Crossroads still has to play JannLee. That will be, in my opinion, an important match to see if he can get a chance against JannLee, then, or if he can get a few good games in against JannLee, maybe he'll be able to beat him, and then well, then maybe it will be very exciting, but probably many of you, as well as I, am expecting to see JannLee take the leads and come in first, and then probably with upper, because upper convincingly beat Chicken Crossroad. But then again, it's just early days, so nothing nothing is decided yet, and there are a lot of useful links here as well if you want to check them out. Let's see, this is the schedule. And if I remove this one, then we'll see tomorrow 8 p.m. Central European Summertime that Then Operations versus Variants only will play their remaining 15 games. They've played last Wednesday, but Variants only decided halfway through the match that the EuroLeague final was more important than his match against Operations, and so they postponed. I won't be able to stream this, I know already, because I will be in a meeting tomorrow evening. And let's check. No matches have been scheduled so far, but I'll be sure to check this page regularly and try to get some coverage for you. If you look in the chat, also posted a link to his blog about Crazy House with a recap. Make sure to check it out, and also check out his content on Crazy House. He's streaming a lot, and it's nice to see him dedicated to the game. Yeah. Also very curious indeed how Penguin GM will play. He has not scheduled any matches yet, but I'm sure he will be doing that shortly. For now, it's time for me to end this. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.